Good evening. I'm Rachel Strickland. I'm also on the board of Her Justice, and I am the Honorable Shelley Chapman's partner. I am also a good friend of Dan Aronson's, and I wanted to say congratulations. And when my phone rings, you don't say, Polly, you do say, Stricky. So you're not alone. It is my honor and my privilege to introduce my friend, my mentor, and my partner, the Honorable Shelley Chapman, this evening. As a human, as a woman, as a professional, Judge Chapman is nothing short of exceptional. I first met her as Shelley when she joined Wilkie Farr as a partner from Sidley in 2001. And I was an associate, and I was trying to navigate my life in a law firm. And here was a rare example of someone who had a thriving practice and a family. And in law firms, let alone restructuring, that's very, very rare. And that's not all. Shelley always made time to give back, including and especially to Her Justice. And as I worked with Shelley over the next several years, I marveled at her ability to crystallize things down to what was really important. She always prioritizes her family and her friends, especially her daughters, Becca and Talia, her husband Paul, her granddaughter Coco, and now the Alexes. Shelley does not make enemies. She doesn't have an ego. She believes in hard work. And the people that work for her like her and respect her. And the same is true of the people who appeared before her and against her. In trying to give you a snapshot, I could tell you amazing professional stories about a Judge Chapman story involving Lehman Brothers or mediating Purdue Pharma, or dozens of other incredible things. But instead, I'd like to tell you what Shelley was doing leading up to November 16th of 2016. She was 60 years old, and she decided she was gonna run the New York City Marathon. And she didn't tell anybody, not even her family. She just got up really early, and she started to run. So when she started to run further and further and further, she eventually copped the fact that she was doing this, and she signed up to run and joined Fred's team, the group that raises money for Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. And on race day, Shelley's whole family met up on mile 3 in Brooklyn to cheer her on. And they had planned to meet up with her again at mile 17 as she passed Sloan Kettering. But between 3 and 17, they figured, we have a little time to kill. So they went to brunch. But then they went to lunch. And then they went to dinner. You see, Shelley is fantastic, but she's not a distance runner. She's a strong woman. She set a goal. She prepared. She has grit. She did stop for coffee at mile 16, which for those of you that have run the New York City Marathon is not normal. And she finished in the dark, long after other people finished, at 7 hours, 12 minutes, and 55 seconds. That is who she is. She doesn't quit. While there's much to celebrate about Judge Chapman, tonight is very special. She served on the board of Her Justice from 2001 to 2007 and was the board chair from 2004 to 2007. She helped establish the externship program in 2002, which is still thriving over 20 years later. And she is largely responsible for turning the benefit into what it is today. That and so much more is what makes Judge Chapman a fitting honoree tonight. So with that, I would like to welcome my friend, partner, and mentor, Judge Shelley Chapman.
Back down to Paul level here. Okay, so there's basically zero chance that I'm going to get through this without crying, but here goes. So good evening, everyone. Thank you, Rachel, for your very kind remarks. I know it took a fair amount of work to find something funny to say about me. You did it, well done, and phew, that was good. To my co-honoree, the great Dan Aronson, I love you. What a treat it's been to have the opportunity to hang out with you every week during these past few months. It's so nice to see Julie and Skylar here. Dan, you and I have always been a great team. You're simply the best, and I love you. Huge thank yous to the Her Justice staff who have led this effort. Devin, Kathy, Emily, Jillian, thank you so much for all your amazing work and for putting up with all my completely annoying emails. Amy, you have an incredible team. I know you know that. And thank you to an incredible group of honorary co-chairs who showed up at 5:30 every Tuesday, week after week after week, and got us to our goal. A very special welcome to my former colleagues from the best bankruptcy court in the world. I miss all of you, and I'm deeply touched that you are here tonight. Probably Judge Glenn will be issuing an opinion after this evening is over, so we'll all look forward to hearing what he has to say. Okay, so I know I'm standing between you and dinner and schmoozing, so I'm going to keep it short. I know that's super disappointing to those of you who have had the opportunity to sit through one of my bench decisions. I want to talk about just three things. Thing one, Her Justice, the reason we are all here tonight. 30 years ago, a woman named Kathy Douglas had a vision of creating an organization dedicated to providing legal services to women in need in New York City. At that time, she was a partner in a law firm named Wilkie Farr & Gallagher. The big-hearted and wise heads of the firm at that time, Jack Nussbaum of blessed memory, and my old boss, Myron Trepper, gave her $75,000 in seed money to found the Network for Women's Services. And as they say, the rest is history. A critical component of Kathy's vision was to use the power of leverage, a concept well familiar to the restructuring community and everyone in this room, to build a team of lawyers and advocates with day jobs at law firms to represent women in domestic disputes. It worked. I met Kathy purely by chance in the year 2000. I was then a partner at Sidley. Special shout out to my old friend Mike Schmidberger, who's now the head of that firm, and had been asked to figure out how to get the then fledgling New York office of Sidley involved in philanthropy in the city. I'd have a huge stack of letters on my desk asking for contributions. There was one from Kathy, asking the firm to contribute to the Network for Women's Services. Kathy and I met for coffee. I'm going to lose it now. Here was a soft-spoken, unassuming, quietly but incredibly powerful woman who clearly had a deep passion for helping women and children lift themselves out of crisis. A vision of helping empower women to help themselves get their lives back. Kathy, we are so sorry you cannot be here in person tonight, but I know you will watch this. Please know how much you mean to me and to everyone in this room who has had the privilege of working with you. Would everybody please join me in saluting Kathy? So shortly after I met Kathy, she invited me to the Network for Women's Services benefit at the Puck Building. It raised $170,000. And before I knew it, I was on the benefit committee, and we moved the event uptown to Sotheby's. Another record-breaking amount was raised, $200,000. And before I knew it, I was on the board of the newly rebranded In Motion, and in 2004, I became chair of the board. Together with a wonderful and dedicated group of board members and staff, we helped Kathy grow In Motion in so many ways. Fellowships, externships, new offices, new practice areas, new corporate partners. In 2007, when I turned over the reins of the board to my dear friend Brad Scheller, the benefit raised over $2 million. It was really incredible. And that brings me to the second thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about all of you. Talk about the role our professional community has played in making Her Justice what it is today. The tireless support of the restructuring community has been the bedrock of this organization for over 2 decades. And its support has been unwavering through some very, very tough times. 9/11, the financial crisis of 2008, and of course, COVID-19. I am so privileged and so proud to be a member of this community. During my years at the court, when I was in charge of bankruptcy judge education, I brought many classes of baby judges to a reception held in their honor at the Second Circuit. Members of the bankruptcy bar were invited to attend, as were my colleagues from the court. The district court judges and circuit court judges, Article III judges, who attended would always tell me what a great group of professionals you are. They would marvel at the camaraderie you displayed. And it's true. We laugh, we cry, we fight, we make up. Well, some of the time we make up. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your generosity this year and always. You have changed the lives of countless women in New York City for good. And of course, the last thing I want to talk about is family. Nothing, as Rachel said, nothing is more important than family. With your help, Her Justice does so much to keep families together. Those of you who know me know that my family is pretty amazing. I like to say that I'm the slacker in the family, and it's totally true. My husband, Paul, has helped many of you over the years. He puts up with me. He's my best friend, and he's the love of my life. And I would never have found my way in this world without him. My daughter, Talia, and my soon-to-be son-in-law, Alex, are here tonight as well. And my daughter, Rebecca, and son-in-law, Alex, and my beautiful granddaughter, Cosima, are here on FaceTime. Hi, Coco, it's Nana. And my third daughter, Jamie, whom you all know and love, is here tonight, too. Love you all so much. So my mom is about to turn 96, God bless her, and she still tells me that I work too hard and that I should eat something. So Mom, when you watch this video, don't worry, I will eat something, don't worry. So thank you all so much, thank you. Oh, wait. I see our MC is making his way up here to move the program along, but Pat, there's one more thing I wanted to say. Could you give me a couple more minutes? Thank you so much. Okay, so listen. So one of the super fun parts about not being on the bench anymore is finding out how many times I apparently got it completely wrong in your cases. Who knew? Who knew? Okay, so I realized I could turn this situation into a fundraising tool for Her Justice. Here's my idea. Anyone who has, shall we say, a critique of my rulings, or how I conducted a trial, or how I treated you in court, Paul Leak. Oh. Just make a contribution to Her Justice, and I will happily listen to everything you'd like to say to set me straight. And I'm sure the great Dan Aronson would be willing to do the same thing about how many times he messed up your deals over the past few decades. But actually, some of you were so psyched about this, you jumped the gun and made written submissions. Could we get some of these up there on the screens, please? You were so wrong in Sabine. Steve Zellen, $1,000. Oh, wait. No, she wasn't. Joff Mitchell, $1,000. Is there another one? Oh, here's a good one. You were wrong at least twice in light squared. Wrong! 2 at $1,000 a pop. And here's my favorite one. You were wrong in momentive. Oh, wait, that was drain. Okay, Pat, you can take it from here.